Trump released a PAC ad yesterday. Trump PACs released an ad. Cut number 1. This hits hard.
Following some breaking news out of Athens, Georgia.
2 colleges have canceled classes today as police look for a murderer.
Laken Riley was described as a shining light.
Dean's List nursing student.
Police arrested 26-year-old Jose Antonio Ibarra.
Ibarra crossed into Texas illegally back in September of 2022, then was released into the United States on parole.
We're confident this border is secure.
We have a secure border.
We agree that the border is secure.
And we have a process in place to manage migrants at the border.
The border is closed. The border is secure.
We have taken unprecedented action.
Look, the border is not open.
Fox News can now confirm that Jose Antonio Ibarra was busted last year in New York City. But ICE didn't even have time to put in a detainer on him because, hey, he was already back out on the streets.
You're not safe in Joe Biden's America if you're not watching on the Salem News Channel. That's the header at the end. Now, that's from a super PAC. But I said on Special Report 2 nights ago, and I'll be on Special Report, the panel again tonight, the number one issue, policy issue, will be immigration. Immigration. And Joe Biden doesn't win that. Donald Trump was on with Sean Hannity last night and said this about Joe Biden, and he's right. Cut number 3.
Joe Biden is the most incompetent president we've ever had. He's the worst president we've ever had. He is a true threat to democracy because he's weaponized the FBI and the DOJ to go get his political opponent and many other people. Christians. He's really after the Catholics. I don't know what's going on with the Catholics, but for some reason there's something happening with the Catholics. I mean, I don't know how they can possibly vote for a Democrat or for him, but he's weaponized government at a level that nobody's ever seen before outside of a third world country.
Something's going on with the Catholics. Yeah, we're going to Mass. We're going to confession. It is Lent, so that's going on. But the FBI is trailing us, apparently, in Richmond. Donald Trump also said this to Hannity about Joe Biden's border visit yesterday. Cut number 6.
I know why he's here, because he found out that we were coming. We were here. Look, you and I made this agreement 2 weeks ago.
No, actually, a month and a half ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. But we made it a while ago, and the word got out. And a couple of weeks ago, it started getting out. And then they found out for sure. You put up the nice little picture on the right-hand bottom corner of your television set that I was coming. And all of a sudden, they announced that they're coming. But they went to the wrong area. They went to an area that the governor and myself have done a good job on. And there's essentially nobody coming through. So, you know, you're not seeing it. This area is tough.
Yeah, the picture of Joe Biden is not reassuring about the president's mobility. Cut number 9, Donald Trump at Eagle Pass.
The reports have come out, and we've been covering them, and everybody's been. And I spoke to the parents of an incredible young lady, and you saw her the other day. You saw what happened the other day in Georgia. And the parents are devastated. They're incredible people. But this is a Joe Biden invasion. This is a Biden invasion over the past 3 years. I call him Crooked Joe because he's crooked. He's a terrible president, the worst president our country's ever had, probably the most incompetent president we've ever had. But it's allowing thousands and thousands of people to come in from China, Iran, Yemen, the Congo, Syria, and a lot of other nations. Many nations are not very friendly to us. He's transported the entire columns of fighting-aged men, and they're all at a certain age, and you look at them and say, they look like warriors to me. Something's going on that's bad. Now the United States.
He's talking about the Chinese nationals who have come in. There have been more than 40,000 Chinese nationals who've crossed the border in the last 15 months, most of them unaccompanied males of military age. It's a little spooky. Cut number 10, though, Joe Biden wandering around a live mic, never a good idea, Brownsville.
I just want the American people to know what we're trying to get done. How many more of these big things are we talking about?
The non-intrusive inspection technology under the legislation, we would get more than $400 million to implement more than 100 of those machines.
Yeah, how many of these big things are we talking about here? Then he went on to say this, cut number 11.
I've flown over a lot of these wildfires since I've been president. Matter of fact, I've been in a helicopter in the west and the southwest and northwest, flown over more land burned to the ground all the vegetation gone than this entire state of Maryland in square footage. The idea
that's kind of not very unusual, but I thought he was about to say he flew over it with Xi, because that's what he usually does. He goes to Tibet with Xi, and he goes flying over fires with Xi. One more Joe Biden cut from Brownsville, cut number 12.
Let me end with this. I understand my predecessor's legal past today. So here's what I would say to Mr. Trump. Instead of playing politics with this issue, instead of telling members of Congress to block this legislation, join me, or I'll join you in telling the Congress to pass this bipartisan border security bill. We can do it together. You know and I know it's the toughest, most efficient, most effective border security bill this country has ever seen.
That's not true. The Border Protection Act of 2006, which called for the building of 700 miles of double-sided fencing, which never got built, that was number one. And as I wrote at Fox News yesterday, make them an offer they can't refuse. I'll build the wall, Mr. President, if you'll support it. I'll use your idea, because that's a necessary but not sufficient step. Step number one, an offer they can't refuse. The columns at Fox News from yesterday, that's what he ought to ask for, but he won't.